All right, so what we're looking on here is how do we find the LCM of numbers? And remember, LCM refers to the lowest common multiple. All right, so let us say we have a 6 and we have a 8. And it's our intention to find the lowest common multiple. Well, since these are very small numbers, most time we could list the multiples. So we're going to list the multiples of 6. So the multiples of 6, the lowest multiple of any number is itself. Then we're going to keep adding 6. So 6 plus 6, that's 12. Then we have 18. Then we have 24. We have 30 and 36. And it goes on like that. So these are multiples of 6. 8, we have 8, 16, 24. And at this moment, we could stop. Why? Because we already see where we have found a common. So if you look, 24 is sharing between the two numbers. So 24 is a multiple of 6. It is also a multiple of 8. Now, as you could see, this would be the lowest number. That will be a multiple of both 6 and 8. But guess what? So we're able to use listing to find the lowest common multiple. But what about when we have numbers that we're unable to list? For example, let us say we want to find the LCM of, say, 28, 30, and say 50. All right, so it's our intention to find the LCM of all these numbers. One of the things that we're going to have to do, we could use the prime factors, right? So the prime factors could be of help in this segment. Using the prime factors could help us to find the LCM easily, especially when the numbers are big and the listing gets more difficult. So let us look at the prime factors. So we're looking at the prime factors of 28 right here. So we could do prime factors a number of ways. So this is my 28. So the question is, I'll ask myself, what's the lowest prime number that could go into 28? So that's a 2. I wrote it there. 2 into 28, and then we get 14. Again, what's the lowest prime number that could go into 14? It's going to be 7. It's going to be 2, and it goes into the 14 7 times. And then the lowest prime number that could go into 7 without a remainder, we're looking at 7. We get 1. As soon as we had 1, then we're at the end. So here are the prime factors of 28. 2 times 2 times 7. And yes, you see that this gives us back 28. Now let's look at 30. So for 30, prime factors of 30, what's the lowest prime number that could go into 30 without a remainder? We're looking at 2. 2 into 30 is 15. The lowest prime number that could go into the 15 is going to be 3. So 3 into 15 is 5. And the lowest prime number that could go into 5 is 5, so we're at 1. And as soon as we reach 1, using the prime factors, then we're at the end, right? So we're at the end right there. All right. So now let's look at the last number. Or let's write out the prime factors here. We're looking at 2 times 3 times 5, and there we go. That's 30. Let's look at 50. All right, let's see what works for 50. All right, so what's the lowest prime number that could go into 50? 2. Sorry, so 2 into 50, that's 25. And the lowest prime number that could go into 25 is going to be a 5, which is 5 times. And then 5 again into 5, and that's 1. So we're at the end. Here it is, the prime factors of 50 would be 2 times 5 times 5. And there we go, that's our 50. So what we're saying now, these numbers that we're looking at this moment, these numbers are the numbers that we could put together to get the LCM of all these three numbers. These three numbers, we could now get the LCM of these numbers right now using all of these three numbers. All right, so let's look. How do we do this? The numbers that we have to deal with, let me write them up top here. The numbers that we have to deal with, we have a 2 to deal with. I could just write it here. We have a 2 to deal with. We have a 3 to deal with. We have a 5 to deal with. And we have a 7. Those are the 4 numbers that we do have to deal with. So let's examine the 2. And this is how we choose. So you're seeing now that we have 2 here, we have 2 here, and we have 2's here. The thing is, you are to compare and pick the one with the most. So this is a 1, this is a 1, and here I have 2. So I'm going to have to use the 2 2's because the 2's are stronger here, meaning we have 2 of them here multiplying. We only had 1 here, we only had 1 there. So we're choosing the stronger for each number. So 2 times 2 will reign. For the 3, we're seeing no 3 here, 1 3 here, and no 3 here, which means this 1 3 will be reigning. So we're done with the 2, we're done with the 3. The 5, we're actually seeing 1 5 here and then 2 5's here. So we're going to be using the one with the 2 because it's more than the 1. So it's reigning here, the 2 5's. Lastly, the 7. We are only seeing 1 7. No 7, no 7. So we have to use that 1 7. So here it is. When you multiply all of these together, we will get 2,100. And this is the LCM of 28, 30, 28, 30, and 50. The LCM is 2,100 using prime factorization. All right. We'll look at some others in other videos. Thank you for watching.